All right, what is going on, people? You know what time it is. It is another episode of Unfiltered coming your way right here, right now. This will officially go down in the record books. This episode number 308. You can get us 24/7, 365. It is easy. Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts. So it's formerly known as Twitter, X, if you will, at Casey Stern. Jump up into the bio, and there you can follow through now to a couple of podcasts. Believe in Mets, which we just added. First episode is locked in. Jim Duquette was my guest. You can get over there. And you get the videos there on the YouTube channel for Unfiltered with Casey Stern, which is also how to get me at Unfiltered with Casey Stern on Instagram as well. So a number of ways to reach us wherever you're listening. And if you're watching here live on Twitter, on Instagram, or Facebook, welcome. I know we just put out an episode, but I watched this introductory presser for Bronny James, and I've been thinking about this, and I didn't put it in a recent pod when he got drafted, and I got to get into this at least a little bit. So here we go. First of all, we are always presented by our good friends at Bet Online. They're your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. Baseball, golf, soccer, all the top fighting, UFC, MMA, and boxing as well. They got every stat, every matchup, every live odd and spread while the games are being played. Then when the game's over, you head over to the online casino, get a game of blackjack or poker, or you can unwind with over 150 slot games. So head over to the website today, get in on the action, use the promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV. You'll get a 50% free bet credit on your first deposit for up to $250. It is Bet Online. The game starts here. And I get started with this. Honesty. As Billy Joel once said, and by the way, I guess real men wear salmon if you're watching and not listening to this. My kids, we were sitting there and I was shopping and they wanted me to get maroon and I chose salmon. And they're sitting there in the background and, you know, we're 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as Meatloaf said, in terms of the 3 kids for the votes on the shirt. But please don't vote. Don't want to know. Honesty is such a simple word. That's what Billy Joel said. And he was right. And that's all we ask for. And I'm okay with a lot of things here within not only LeBron and where he factors into running this damn team, but how his son got on this team and is a member of this franchise. I'm all right with all of it. But the one thing we ask for is the one thing that is the hardest thing for humans, and don't I know it in my life, to give in this world, and that is sincerity and honesty. For example, I don't care that LeBron runs the team, okay? When I was traveling and I was working at Turner and we were on remotes, I didn't expect to get the same hotel room as Charles Barkley, right? Like, we understand how things work within every company and every office and any business about how people are treated. And then when you're LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Tom freaking Brady or Connor McDavid or whoever you want to put in that list now, right? In real life in sports, you get advantages that are different than everybody else. And if you're the Laker franchise and you look at the value that LeBron has to it and who LeBron is and what he's earned, and I've said this before, I'm a Michael Jordan guy, not a fan in terms of I was a Knick fan, but I know what he did to my franchise. I watched it plenty and saw it firsthand at the Garden myself sitting there. He's the greatest player of all time, my opinion, but I got LeBron right there. And whether he's 1 or 2, you got him at 4. One of the greatest players ever. And what he can do at his size, nobody ever is ever going to be able to do. The longevity and the things he's doing at his age are obscene. So if you tell me that LeBron has a big-time hand in who coaches the team in J.J. Redick, right? Which, by the way, I think will work out, and I've said that. But in who coaches the team or who's on the team or who he wants to play with or what plays are being run, it's LeBron freaking James. I don't care, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it if I'm being honest. Again, such a simple word. It's fine. But the problem is that we all try and pretend, and they go out of their way to tell us that no. LeBron had no idea J.J. Redick was getting the job until he had a conversation with him for 5 minutes right before he was offered the job or right after he was offered I mean, come on, really? Like, they never went to LeBron? I mean, we're not that freaking stupid, okay? We weren't all born yesterday. I said freaking, that's not the F word. My daughter in the background just went, ooh, no, it's fine. It's a family show. But seriously speaking, we're not that dumb. We're just not. We understand the fact that LeBron has a hand in who gets on the team. whether it's his son or not. That's number one. Let's get to number two. The idea, and I want to read these quotes because they are just unbelievable. And I'm not blaming JJ Redick, and I'm not going to blame Rob Pelinka. They're saying whatever they feel they have to say, right? But I'd rather them say nothing. I'm not going to get on JJ, who's had the job for 4 minutes. Whatever they tell him is the modus operandi. That's what he's going to do. Quote, being LeBron's son had nothing to do with it. He, quote, has earned this through, I can't even read it without laughing. He's, quote, earned it through hard work. Now, look, I got nothing against Bronny James. I have no idea if he's going to be any good at the NBA level. I absolutely think it is fair to say that when you've got, a heart issue and that procedure and all the months of layoff, that maybe you can't put it all, and then the amount of playing time and all the opportunity, and you want to kind of tag all those things in to say, well, the 4.8 points a game or whatever the hell it was isn't exactly as it looks, and he can get better, and maybe he's a prospect, and you didn't take him in the first round, and all those things are true, and that's fine. But you're giving this guy a guaranteed multi-year contract. He got drafted to your team with a 4.8 points per game, shooting, 36% from the field, not from three, and 26.7 from three in college at USC, and that's not screaming, I got to draft you over other people who are on the freaking board. It's just not. So you can't sit there and tell me, and it's hard to say without laughing, he earned it through hard work. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. I'm saying the idea that he is on the team for any other reason than LeBron, and the fact that whether LeBron told you to draft him or you wanted to make money off LeBron and his kid being on the team, and whoever else you drafted wasn't going to sit there and get a contract anyway and wasn't going to be a part of the franchise, and there was nobody else that was sitting there wowing you, whatever factored into all of that. I'm not saying LeBron ordered the code red for Bronny to get on the team, but he certainly damn had something to do with it. And if his last name wasn't James and his dad wasn't LeBron, he's not on the freaking Lakers. He probably not getting drafted. And if he was going to get drafted somewhere else, they had wind that he was going to go play in some other country and not sign because he was forcing his way onto the Lakers, which is why I go back to the simple word, Billy Joel, Long Islander, honesty. Here's what Bronny James said. And I quote, I never really thought about I never even thought about going to play with my dad. Now, let me explain something to you. If you're in Little League, you think about the opportunity to play with brothers or your parents or your father. If you're in college and you're sitting there and your father has played at the college, you're thinking of, I get to play as an alma mater. You're going to tell me your dad's LeBron James. And through this entirety of this process, at no point did you even think about the possibility of playing with your father. How dumb does that sound? Now, as a diehard baseball fan, I remember when Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. hit home runs in the same game. One of the great moments of all time in Seattle, right? You're gonna tell me, or is that in Cincinnati? You're gonna tell me that we're in a situation where, as a son of LeBron James, you never thought of playing. You were getting drafted, right? You didn't come out for that reason because you were going to play with LeBron, right? You could have stayed in school. That's not why you came out. And at no point during the draft, as it's ticking down, getting to the Lakers pick, at no point were you even then thinking of playing with your father. How goddamn stupid sorry do you think we are? No one is that stupid. Nobody's that stupid. Sorry. So I don't have a problem with LeBron running the team or whatever to some extent, right? With Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka. I have no problem with that. I don't have any problem with the fact that Bronny James is on the team because he's LeBron's son. I don't have an issue with that either. But the idea that you are trying to tell us in both cases that we are that stupid and that it has nothing to do with it, and he's there on merit and hard work, and it has nothing to do with that his father's LeBron, and LeBron has no say in it because LeBron has no say in the team. LeBron didn't even know who was going to coach the damn team. This is the problem I have. It is the same thing as with people in life when we deal with sports. For me, as a sports fan, Sometimes if people just told you just how bad their thoughts really were, or just how much they didn't like you, or whatever the process, or your job, or you're trying to sell them something, and how many times is sitting there, my goodness, that you were working in sales years ago and working in restaurant business recently, you get people you just know. I mean, just tell me it's okay. We can handle it, but they go and they do what they do. It's not what is real that's the bothering problem. It is the lack of sincerity, and that's the problem here. Because if you are watching or listening to this and you actually believe that Bronny James, quote, I can't stop laughing, never thought of going to play with his dad, I mean, come on. I would think it's weird if he wasn't thinking about the opportunity to play with his father. So, honesty, such a simple word. So is the word unfiltered, where you can always catch us here. Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcast, Instagram, Unfiltered with Casey Stern. Same thing on the YouTube channel. Facebook as well. You can get me at Casey Stern there. And, of course, where we do a lot of our work on X or Twitter, if you will, at Casey Stern. Jump up and give me a follow. Unfiltered as always